Hello, my dear friends. Today we will read the diary of a German corpsman with the rank of Gefreiter. His diary starts in the spring of 1942 and depicts the battles, perhaps, on the most depressing section of the Eastern Front. The division in which he served was engaged in combat not far from Leningrad, near the Volkhov River. The terrain on this section of the front was wooded with numerous swamps. The battles in this area were mainly positional, with no rapid breakthroughs. Consider the spring thaw. All of this made this section of the front extremely hard, which took out of the soldiers of the two armies not just all the physical, but also all the moral strength. The number of non-combat losses here was the highest on the entire Eastern Front, and this is true for two armies. Well, let's begin now. March 17, 1942. My pass to the Russian front took 10 days. We moved to the front line at Kusino. The Russians reigned supreme in the air, dropping bombs, doing more and more attacks. On the night of March 17th-18th, there was a new change at the front line. We settled down in dugouts. It is completely impossible to have a general view of the 9 dispositions of troops, as there is plenty of snow everywhere. The officers' dugouts are comfortable. I was in the dugout all the time. The front is quiet. March 19th-20th. Nothing special happened. March 21st. Everything's quiet in our section. The living hell began on our left. The heaviest shelling of guns of all calibers and bomb explosions. The aviation showed activity every day. There were 20 to 30 dive bombers dropping bombs everywhere on the front. The nearest village is 19 kilometers away from us, and it is called Kusino. The anti-tank guns of the enemy fired on us today. There were 2 killed in the 4th and 5th companies, but otherwise all was quiet. March 22nd. Today we got our first salary on the Eastern Front. At 9 p.m., there was a lot of activity of mortars. One mine hit a meter away from me, but nothing was wrong. It didn't explode. Our dugout got 2 hits. We had no casualties. March 23rd. The enemy fired fierce shelling. It cost us 1 man killed. March 24th. About noon, a fierce mortar fire. We have totally no weapons. The number of wounded in the battalion is growing larger and larger. March 25th. There's still heavy mortar shelling. We bury the killed. March 26th. We strengthened our dugout. We have fired 40 salvos of 100mm guns against the enemy today. The numbers of our wounded are growing, 3 killed and 20 wounded. March 27th. Early in the morning, the enemy's air forces attacked. The snow melts intensely. We are in a swampy area. Our supply wagon is located at Kusino. The distance to the headquarters of the 6th Battalion is 12 kilometers, to the supply wagon 18 kilometers, to the main dressing station 23 kilometers. The second day, I have to go to the headquarters of the 6th Battalion. We still don't have the number of the military post office. It's easy to get desperate. Every day the snow melts, and we can see more and more dead, military equipment, dead horses. The snow literally stinks. The corpse's decay makes us all disgusted. What a despicable war. The nearest hospital is at Kusino, near the Volkhov River, 2 kilometers from the confluence of the Dakota River. March 28th. In the morning at 2:30 a.m., the detachment West Prussia goes on reconnaissance. I was involved. There were no losses despite the shelling. The reconnaissance returned fruitless as the snow depth was up to 2.5 meters. We crossed the Volkhov River safely. The company command center was moved 2 kilometers to the rear to more convenient dugouts. I remained at the platoon command center and began my hospital duties. At night, it's up to -8 degrees Celsius. There are wounded men again. March 29th. All night, the Russians conducted continuous artillery fire. Our dugout got 8 hits from the infantry guns. The weather on Sunday is wonderful. The sun is shining. Nothing else is happening particularly. March 30th. The battalion physician takes away my ampules. I have nothing left. Those poor soldiers have no choice but to die. The battalion physician has no experience. He's too young. There is no unusual news at the front. March 31st. The enemy conducts the most awful artillery fire at Gachina. The Russians attack more and more ferociously. The front is in constant movement on a stretch of up to 30 kilometers. There are no particular incidents on our section. April 1st, 1942. Nothing is happening. The enemy is still indefatigable. They throw shells and bombs in great numbers. We have no idea how they managed to do it all. As before, we have no letters or newspapers, radio or cinema. We have become isolated from all of the outer world. It is a horrible time. April 2nd. The reconnaissance unit Flandria has been operating since 2:30 a.m. We have 8 killed and wounded. We go back dragging the wounded captives with us. Otherwise, things are all quiet at the front. Today, I received very big underwear, but small socks. I could barely fit my fist into them. I also received new dressing material and medicines. It was the nicest time. We still don't have our field posts, and the number of killed and wounded is growing. There are 7 killed, 38 wounded, and 18 sick. The patients are in the hospital. The road to the battalion headquarters becomes increasingly difficult. Everything melts during the day and freezes at night. It is slippery, muddy, wet. Nothing much changed otherwise. April 3rd. Our losses are 13 killed, 47 wounded, and 18 diseased, who are in the hospital. Lieutenant Mueller from the 2nd Company has been killed. Currently, we have some coffee and Black Russian tea, which we obtained from the enemy. A reconnaissance was undertaken by the enemy to the number of 50 men. We spotted it about 50 paces from our position. The reconnaissance was beaten back and the enemy suffered heavy losses. We had 2 killed and 8 wounded. Our total losses are increasing. Things remain quiet on our section of the front. It is Easter. Could it be that the Russians are going to attack? April 4th. The enemy continues to send out reconnaissance units. We had several men wounded. We finally got the long-expected number of the military post office. April 5th. There was a bulletin from the High Command of the German Army. Nothing new since the morning. April 6th. The food and supplies are good. There are no potatoes, but there is enough bread. The enemy aircraft acts intensely. At midday and later there was a strong artillery and mortar fire. The night was calm. April 7th. The Russians conduct fire. No losses. April 8th. We are under a mortar, artillery, and anti-tank gunfire. The shells are bursting around our dugout. The Russians, up to 80 men at a time, are trying to conduct reconnaissance in force, but we beat them off with the considerable casualties suffered by them. The first patients with cholera are now here. A physician came to our position for the first time. April 9th. Nothing special happened in the morning. All is quiet. April 10th. The enemy assaults. 1 man killed, Rudolf Freyr mortally shot in the head. The commander of the 2nd Company also killed. All the officers of the 2nd Company dead. Our losses are increasing. In total, there are 60 wounded, 24 diseased in the hospital. I have gotten 6,000 machine gun cartridges, 4,500 rifle cartridges, and 1,500 tracer cartridges. We are very, very short on ammo. 2 of our dugouts fell down, caused by the snowmelt. There's a lot of water around. My feet are wet. Also, my clothes are wet, and that's been going on for days. The number of patients suffering from cold is growing every day. It's quite unavoidable, as even the corpsmen barely have time to cope with everything. All of us wait eagerly for letters, but we won't receive them until the middle of May at the earliest. Our dugouts are flooded with water. We managed to salvage only our machine guns and rifles. The rest remains underwater. We can see a lot of dead Russians, horses, a lot of military equipment as the snow has already melted. We lost over 400 of our comrades in a small village on December 31st, 1941. A terrible story. There were about 30 houses in this village. The Volkhov River was already flooding up. At least 60 dead Russians and horses were lying along a stretch of 500 meters. And this water is something we will have to drink soon because there is no more snow. Since this day, we are given 1 soldier's bread for 3 men. It used to be enough for 2 men. Tomorrow is my birthday. Would the Russians give us a moment's rest? I hadn't had a wink of sleep for the last 5 nights. The alert is on all the time. We are about 28 kilometers away from the hell. The enemy planes have been attacking continuously for 19 hours in rotation. We are on the right flank. This is where we must hold on to the last man. This is an order from the army commander. How are things going now at home in Germany? What are my dear, darling mother, my precious Anka, and my little sparrows doing now? I wish I could visit them at least once. I haven't been home for 8 months. When will we get a leave of absence at last? I expect it will be in December or January 1943. April 11th. We probably won't be promoted or awarded because we are still a field reserve battalion. The enemy has left us alone for today. We are repairing our dugouts as they have flooded. This day was my worst birthday ever. No greetings from the homeland, no sweet words. The 2nd Infantry Regiment of the 11th Infantry Division is surrounded. There are over 20 killed and 43 wounded in our company. April 12th. The enemy is firing mixed artillery, mortar, and anti-tank gunfire. As to the rest, there are no particular incidents. We are now having 1 loaf of bread for 3 men, which is terribly insufficient, but the lunch is good. After the Russians break through in January 1942, I gave orders to bury the dead German soldiers in the honorable graveyard. April 13th. It is pretty quiet here on our section of the front. Not much has happened, but I can't get rid of some sort of indefinite feeling. Will this lull turn into a storm? The losses of the 2nd Company are 28 killed, 60 wounded. April 16th. Today there was 2nd vaccination against cholera. It's very quiet at the front. During the night there is heavy fire from both sides. April 17th. On my way to the physician's office, this is the battalion headquarters, I drowned knee-deep in mud. There was severe artillery fire. Our positions are being shelled day and night, shot by shot. The rest is quiet. We handed over our winter uniforms. April 18th. Today we saw nothing special. The enemy was calm, although there was heavy firing at the section. I was promoted to the rank of senior corpsman. April 19th. I went to the battalion headquarters. I had trouble getting there, my boots were leaking. There was mud and water up to my waist. The supply of food, goods, and mail cannot be transported to our location because of the mud. At 10 p.m. the shooting begins and goes on until dawn. At midnight, it's the Führer's birthday. April 20th. In the morning at 10 a.m., I was promoted to the rank of Gefreiter by the company commander. The enemy conducted harassing fire. We have 2 men wounded. April 21st. On the road to the 2nd Battalion, it is about 18 kilometers, in the village you were forced to go knee-deep in mud and swamp for 6 hours. We are about to be replaced. We continue to be a Field Reserve Battalion 11-2. The enemy fires ceaselessly. There's a lot of news. Leningrad is about to fall. The guns and bombs thunder all day and night. Today, there was a 3rd vaccination. April 22nd. We were rotated. We marched 30 kilometers at night. Nothing but mud and swamp everywhere. April 23rd. We have covered another 12 kilometers. Upon arrival, we are immediately led to the front, Larnov Ostrov. It should be emphasized that this is not an island, but the name of the village on the shore of a small lake. Only 1 house is preserved there. Everything else has been destroyed by shells. April 25th. I select 6 men to help me. There was water and clay at the new position. While marching, we moved with considerable effort. 6 soldiers fell ill. There was a mine hit on our position. 76mm and 150mm guns of the enemy carry out firing raids. April 26th. The rations are getting worse and worse. We now have a single loaf of bread for 8 men. The lunch is still very nutritious, but we don't receive it on a regular basis, mostly in late afternoon. We again have problems with bread. Nothing has been given. It's easy to run mad. The enemy is quiet. There is mud and water everywhere. The dugouts are flooded with water. I wonder about home. What are my mom and my little Sparrow's team doing? We see dead Russians and horses everywhere. No more bulletins from the High Command. April 27th. A reconnaissance squad was dispatched today, which cost us 5 wounded. There were 10 men in the squad, but it failed. April 28th. Nothing of importance at the front. April 29th. From now on, the mail will come every 4 days. So far, we have not yet received any money. The enemy launches fire raids with mortars and infantry guns. An enemy reconnaissance unit was sent towards us, but the attack was beaten back. The situation with bread is getting worse and worse. The soldier's shop, which we expected for several weeks, must arrive tomorrow, and yet with 1/4 of the norm. Today we received the money. I'll send it to my Annie at once. April 30th. The soldier's shop has arrived. We got 1 bottle of French liquor, 1 orange and half an orange, and soap. Needless to say, after this the offensive must begin. Finally, we will move forward. The enemy has acted unusually quiet today. May 2nd, 1942. When will we receive the letters? When? They're rotating us out very quickly for some reason. We covered 12 kilometers. Now we are no longer attached to the 11th Infantry Division, but to the 44th Infantry Division. May 3rd. Today I introduce myself to the new physician. It is a junior physician. The feeling is very bad. On my way back, I went past an artillery regiment and heard German radio. Germany. I sat down and listened to it for about half an hour. The birds were chirping, the weather was lovely, my thoughts were back home. I thought about all the pleasures of the homeland. It is only here that you can find out the real value of music. Today is Sunday. I didn't know it until a soldier told me. Regrettably, I must go to my swampy hole again, into the woods, into the swamp, into the mud. The enemy acts calm. It was -3 degrees Celsius at night. I visited the dentist's office. May 4th. The enemy commences to be active, but so far unthreatening. Nothing much. May 5th. The enemy conducts artillery and mortar fire, causing no damage, only one of our machine guns was knocked out of action. May 6th. The mail is expected to arrive today. I guess I'll finally receive a letter after 10 weeks. The cold is up to 8 degrees, and a blizzard is coming. We received the money. The situation with cigarettes is still bad. May 7th. Hooray! Finally! I received 3 letters for the first time. We were on reconnaissance, captured 3 prisoners. The company commander was wounded. He was hit by 14 pieces of shrapnel from a mine. After some brief farewells, he was sent urgently to the rear. May 8th. The weather became a little better. Day after day, we go on reconnaissance. There are wounded men almost every day. Yesterday, 24 men were shot dead. There are big air battles. Yesterday and today, 2 enemy planes were shot down. Each day our planes show up and drop bombs. However, we still haven't moved forward yet. We are supposed to receive letters tomorrow. We have been eating nothing but breadcrumbs for 6 weeks now. It is totally destroying our teeth. Tomorrow I will go to the dentist again. In a few days, the assignment of our March Battalion should start. At least that way it will be a certain unit. Up to this point, we are still called Reserve March Battalion 11-2 and subordinate to the 1st and 2nd Battalions of the 23rd Infantry Regiment. We'll see what happens in the future. The enemy has been shooting like mad for the last 2 days. Probably they must be scared. May 10th. There are elks around here. We shot one. This was a small female that weighed 250 kilograms. I witnessed this scene. The enemy behaves still not quietly. 2 enemy planes were shot down. We launch an attack. We push the enemy 1 kilometer away. The battle went on for every village. The enemy fiercely fought back. We had many wounded. I carried 5 wounded men out of the shelling. We have 2 killed. They were killed by mines, a lieutenant and a non-commissioned officer. On a stretch of 500 meters, there are 18 wounded. We captured 4 Russians. May 11th, 1942. The enemy beats artillery on our location. Besides that, all is peaceful. My boots have completely fallen to pieces. The soles have fallen off. I go to the dentist again. I have to send a letter home to my dear family. We'll have to move again tomorrow. Well, no big deal. It's going to be one battle after another. The enemies bomb us again. The hits are mostly very accurate. This is where the diary ends. On May 13, 1942, he was wounded and captured by the Soviet soldiers during another battle. He died 2 days later in a Soviet hospital as a result of his wounds. That is all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and support the channel by subscribing. Goodbye everyone, until new meetings.